Everyone, and welcome to Chancellor High School in Spotsylvania County as we get set for tonight's Battlefield District matchup between the James Monroe Yellow Jackets and the Chancellor Chargers. It's a directional short kick. It's fielded by the Yellow Jackets on a return and out to about the 40-yard line. That's where the Yellow Jackets will set up shop to open up this football game. Herman K. along with Bob Blackburn bringing you tonight's Battlefield District game between the Yellow Jackets and Chargers. This game tonight will be a big game for both squads and should prove to be a test for each team as they go into the postseason next month. So 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their own 40-yard line. Yellow Jackets operating from the pistol formation. One receiver to the near side of the field. Man in motion, and a counter play by the Yellow Jackets. The ball came out, but I think the Yellow Jackets get it back, but Chancellor is signaling that they have it. No indication, and Chancellor getting the football on a fumble recovery, Bob, to open up this football game.
Yeah, I hope that's not a bad omen.
So Chancellor with an early break in this football game as they make the fumble recovery at the James Monroe 40-yard line. Chargers taking the field for the first time tonight on offense as they were given the football on a fumble. It's 1st down and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets, for the Chargers rather, operating from the pistol formation. And they keep it on the ground. The Yellow Jackets number 2 for Chancellor on the carry. We have no light here in the press box.
Mario Wisdom.
Wisdom on the carry. He's a senior for the Chancellor Chargers. Picks up 7 yards on that initial carry. 2nd and 3 yards to go for the Chargers. Again, they give it off to Wisdom, and he falls forward. A little bit short of picking up the 1st down. So it's going to be 3rd down. And a yard to go for Chancellor. Chancellor, Bob, going with a hurry up here, no huddle. Number 18, the quarterback, big size. The Yellow Jackets coming across the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be an offsides penalty against the Yellow Jackets. And that will give Chancellor a 1st down as they mark off the yards down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line.
Yeah, Chancellor's too good a team to hand them too much.
So 1st and 10 yards to go for the Chancellor Chargers at the James Monroe 28-yard line. Operating from the pistol. Handoff into the secondary. That's Wisdom. Tackled inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line. Nice, huge hole on the left side. And just like that, the Chancellor Chargers in the red zone, knocking at the door, trying to get on the board first in this football game.
Yeah, I tell you, Wisdom's for real, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's a good back.
Here we go, 1st and goal to go for Chancellor. Wisdom again, and he's going to be pulled down inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. So Chancellor running the ball right at the heart of this JM defense and finding a lot of success, Bob, as they face a 2nd and goal from the JM 4-yard line. Glad to have you along tonight on Channel 18. I'm Herman K. alongside Bob Blackburn. Wisdom again, and he's going to be pulled down right around the 2-yard line. So 3rd and goal from the 2 for Chancellor.
Yeah, right. Good-looking drive here for Chancellor. It looks like that middle is going to be the spot for him. I hope they close it down. And
number 44 for the Chancellor Chargers checking in to the backfield. Number 20 coming out. 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Quarterback from the pistol formation. Fakes a handoff, rolls out to his right. Passes into the end zone, touchdown. That was number 44 for the Chancellor Chargers coming up with the reception. That's going to be Noah Manuel with a 2-yard touchdown reception from the quarterback. And a quarterback, Jason Brown, big, tall quarterback back there, delivered a perfectly thrown football. Extra point attempt. Here's the snap. The kick up by Chancellor is up, and it's good. Timeout on the field. 9:35 to go in this opening quarter. Our score, it's Chancellor 7, James Monroe nothing. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Chancellor High School. Chargers kick it off to the Yellow Jackets. Short kick, angled kick to the far side of the field. Yellow Jackets on a return out to the 40-yard line. That's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't think they're going to kick deep all night, Herman, if they haven't on the first two.
Well, we apologize for getting on the air a little bit late tonight. We've had some problems here in the press box. We have no light here on our particular end of the field, so thus we could not see our pregame, and very difficult to read the numbers in our program. So hopefully we can correct that. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, tripped up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that first down play. So again, we're going to give them a yard, Bob.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the play selection so far. I think they could have a little better wide game here. Let's see.
2nd and 9 yards to go for James Monroe. Receiver split to the near side of the field from the pistol formation. Nice run inside, but a hard hit by the Chargers. Might have picked up a yard at the James Monroe 41-yard line. So 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, this Chancellor D, they're the real thing. They hit.
Real deal. They swarm to the football. No pun intended there.
That's right.
They charge to the football.
Charge to the football, and we swarm around.
We swarm around it.
Okay.
That's right. 3rd and 8 yards to go for James Monroe. No score. Well, it's 7-0. Chancellor, 8:22 to go. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. He's got a lot of room out in front. He turns the corner. He picks up the first down, steps out of bounds on the near side of the field, right in front of the Chancellor bench. But Felton with an excellent run, advancing the ball down the field into Chancellor territory, where it will be 1st and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets at the Chancellor 46-yard line. Nice run, Bob.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what, he gets some space, and he can turn some pretty poor plays into a good gain.
4 wide out for the Yellow Jackets, backing into the hole. And that's going to be Weldon on the carry for the Yellow Jackets. Picks up 3 yards on that initial run from the line of scrimmage. That's going to set up a 2nd down and 8 yards to go for James Monroe. Yellow Jackets with a 2nd and 8 at the Chancellor 44-yard line. 2 receivers split to the near and far side of the field. Weldon alongside the quarterback. And the Yellow Jacket movement in the backfield, but no penalty as Chancellor bogged it up inside. That play never really developed, Bob, because there was some movement in the jam backfield, and they're lucky they didn't get a motion penalty.
Yeah, the Chargers were pointing at him, but I suppose, okay, they're gonna call it now.
They waited a long time. They waited until they ran the play. Now they make the call.
You know, I thought he had
that play
reset.
shouldn't count.
Exactly, right.
So they're going to decline the penalty. That's going to set up a 3rd and 8 for the Yellow Jackets at the Chancellor 44-yard line. Trips to the far side of the field, 1 to the near. Quarterback Felton fakes a handoff, rifles a pass across the middle. Nice run, juking through, 20, 15, 10. down to the 5-yard line. What a play, what a pass. And that's going to be Felton to Felton there.
Wow, what a play, what a play. I tell you what, he was hard to bring down. He was carrying a few.
He threaded that thing like a needle ball. And number 2, Felton with the reception at the Chancellor 6-yard line.
To do that one up in the backyard, Herman.
In the dirt.
Yep.
Here we go. Pistol formation. Yellow Jackets keep it on the ground. Nose of the football right at the 5-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and goal for the Yellow Jackets at the Chancellor 5-yard line. What a big play by James Monroe.
Yeah, that was a beauty. I tell you, he put that ball right on the money, and and then his brother did the rest.
Matt and A.J. Felton connection here at Chancellor tonight. Yellow Jackets shuffling players into that offensive lineup. That's Felton split to the left side of the field. One receiver, Bowley, to the near. Yellow Jackets again keeping on the ground and a hard hit. That was close to a horse collar tackle, and he hit him up real high, Bob.
Wow.
But a great aggressive play by Chancellor, a loss of a yard. That's going to set up a 3rd and goal for James Monroe at the Chancellor's 6-yard line. Yellow Jackets taking their time getting plays in there, Bob.
Yeah, this is kind of worrisome here. They're
So 7-0 outscore, 5:30 to go in this opening quarter. Yellow Jackets threatening with a 3rd and goal from the Chancellor 6-yard line. Felton gets the snap, rifles a pass, and the catch. Touchdown, James Monroe.
nice play.
That's number 2 for the Yellow Jackets, getting the touchdown, 6-yard touchdown strike from quarterback Felton. Is that Leacock?
That caught the pass. Was it number?
Number 2.
Number 2 should be Matt Felton.
That's Matt Felton.
Yeah.
So again, that same combination, Felton to Felton. 7-6 outscore. Yellow Jackets tacking on the extra point here by Marine. Is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 5:18 to go in this opening quarter. Outscore, it's 7-7. We'll be back after this. Chancellor High School 7-7 football game here in this first quarter. Bob, it's going to be a long night if they continue to score like this.
Absolutely. Well, this is the first time JM is kicked off to Chancellor, and let's see if they go deep on them or respect their receivers back there. Let's see.
Yellow Jackets are set to kick off to the Chancellor Chargers. And I apologize again. It's dark in this press box and we cannot see. End over end, deep kick, take it at the 10, 15, 20. Bounces to the outside. And finally knocked out of bounds on the JM side of the field. But an excellent return here by the Chancellor Chargers. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Chargers at their 5-yard line.
Yeah, I'd like to see JM come up with a big stop this time, maybe a 3 and out, and then give him a little giddy up.
At their 39-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Chargers at their 39-yard line. Got to watch this guy in the backfield, number 2 for the Chancellor Chargers. Mario Wisdom.
Yeah, he's for real.
He's the designated workhorse in that backfield. Here we go. 1st and 10 yards to go for the Chancellor Chargers. And a pass across the middle. Takes a real man to catch a pass in that area.
It does, right there, make you.
And that's what he was thinking about. That receiver was thinking about the collision. He took his eyes off of the football. He was more concerned with that defender than catching the football. Thus, incomplete pass with make it 2nd and 10 yards to go. Again, from the pistol formation, quarterback swing pass. It's going to be a lateral.
That's a lateral.
Yellow Jackets. That's a lateral. Can't be a. It was behind. My goodness, they got a break on that play.
Indeed.
That was a lateral. It was behind the terrible call. So they're going to rule it as an incomplete pass. Bob, I was looking to see if it was a forward pass or not, and it was so obvious it was a lateral. 3rd and 10 yards to go. Quarterback, and the ball is stripped out of there. It falls around on the ground. The Yellow Jackets come up with it.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So there is some justice, but you have to make your own, right?
That's right. So the Yellow Jackets stripped the quarterback of the football. It falls to the ground, and a JM player falls on it. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets in Chancellor territory at the 38-yard line. That was D.D. Nelson, Bob, recovering that football for James Monroe.
He's almost always around that football.
He certainly is. He's certainly a captain on that defense. We're talking about Nelson. Here we go. 1st and 10 yards to go. 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. And that's Weldon on a carry. Not too much running room down inside for Weldon tonight. He kind of rolled around and fell forward and picked up a yard on that running play.
Well, knowing Weldon, he'll get better as the game goes along, and because that's uncharacteristic of him to get stopped for a short gain time after time.
Bob, I've never been a play caller, but in a situation like this, swing pass or that jet sweep would work against this Chancellor team. Plus, it would open up that middle for Weldon to run.
Yeah, you know me on those swing passes. I love them.
2nd and 10 facing the Yellow Jackets. Felton getting ready to throw the ball. Has a man. Bowley coming up with this reception. He concentrated so much, Bob, on making a catch. He could have caught that thing and turned it upfield and picked up some more yards.
He did. You're right. He brought it in and actually did he actually lose a little bit, or?
Yeah, he lost a yard on that play.
Wow.
So he fell backwards. Not a good heads-up play that time by Bowley. But the Yellow Jackets with a 3rd and 10 at the Chancellor 38-yard line. 2 receivers split to the far side of the field. 1 Bowley to the near side. Operating from the pistol formation. The quarterback fakes the handoff. He's going to run it. Cuts it inside. Cuts it upfield. Close to the 1st down marker. Might be about a yard shy.
Wow, he's a magician,
yes,
I tell you what.
He is. Felton runs that. It's a read option, Bob. You know, he's got the option to turn that ball in, hand it off, or dip it to the outside. That time he kept the football, took it to the outside, and picked up good yards.
I was going to have about 3 on this one, and it'll be kind of a hard decision to make here, wouldn't it?
4th and 2 or 3 to go for Yellow Jackets. Receiver to the near side of the field, 1 to the far. Yellow Jackets butts in there, and I thought I heard a whistle. The Yellow Jackets get the 1st down, and no flag on the play.
Yeah, what was that noise? It
sounded like a whistle, didn't it?
I hope nobody has one in the stand. That's all we need.
Weldon with the 1st down for the Yellow Jackets. They move the chain on the far side of the field. 1st and 10 for James Monroe at the Chancellor 28-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Opening quarter, 7-7 tie. Yellow Jackets try to bounce it in, but no running room. Tough defense by Chancellor down inside.
Yeah, those yards are hard to buy up in the middle tonight.
Yellow Jackets have got to loosen up that defense a bit. You know, they've got about 6 in the box there. Got to loosen it up by running the ends or with some screen plays or like we said, swing passes to the flat area. That'll loosen them up. Haven't seen this formation before. You got 3 guys in the backfield, and that's Boxley on the carry.
So they must have figured some extra blocking back there would do some good, and well, he did make a decent gain anyway.
Picked up a couple of yards on that run by Boxley, setting up a 3rd down, and about 7 yards to go. Yellow Jackets are in 3rd and long here. I don't like that. So 3rd and long here for James Monroe. Ball at the Chancellor 19-yard line. Receivers to the near and far side of the field, and that's going to be Felton. Felton trying to turn it to the outside, cuts it in, runs over his own man. Finally knocked out of bounds right around the 20-yard line.
Going to leave him with another fourth and,
running the football.
you know.
Pushed out of bounds by
So
Chancellor's.
at the 20-yard line, picked up a couple. He ran a lot of yardage.
He did.
Yards and picked up minimal yardage.
Yeah, he had to kind of swing deep because I think someone was chasing him.
Flag on the play.
So the flag, I would think, would be against the Yellow Jackets. Yes, they're marking off the yards against the Yellow Jackets. And they should have replayed that third down. Holding call against the Yellow Jackets. That's going to push the ball back to the Chancellor 35-yard line. That's going to set up a third at about 16 yards to go to James Monroe.
Pretty much have to throw here, wouldn't you?
I like their passing game, Bob.
Yeah.
Yellow Jackets, only 2 receivers set to go out. A lot of protection back there for the quarterback. Slant pattern across the middle and a catch down inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Got a lot of those penalized yards back, but still short of first down.
Yeah, when it leaves you with 7 or 8 yards, then that kind of says if you don't pass it again, you're not going to get anywhere.
So that's going to set up a fourth down and about 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Ball at the Chancellor 25 with 47 seconds to go in this first quarter. 7-7 score. Yellow Jackets taking a timeout here, Bob, and we'll take a timeout as well. Timeout on the field with 44 seconds to go in this opening quarter. 7-7 tie. We'll be back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, Bob Blackburn, my friend here in the press box. Back at Chancellor High School, 4th down, 8 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. They changed the formation, Bob. Now you got Trips to the far side, Bowley to the near side. Felton looking downfield, going to be flushed out of the pocket, gets rid of the pass, deep pass, down in the corner of the end zone with the jump and the reception. It is good.
Touchdown.
My goodness. That's going to be a 25-yard. Bowley with the reception. Bob will say 25 yards from Felton to Bowley. Bowley, the basketball player.
Yeah, that was a jump ball, and he got it.
He went up top and won it. Yellow Jackets with the extra point attempt here. Marine in for the PAT. The snap to kick by Marine. It's up. It hits the crossbar, and it's good.
Oh, my goodness.
He hit the right upright, Bob, and it went through. It's good. Timeout on the field. 34 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Our score, it's James Monroe 14, Chancellor 7. Back after this timeout. Welcome back to Chancellor High School as we began the second quarter play. It's 2nd and about 3 yards to go facing the Chargers at their 46-yard line. Quarterback dropping back to throw the ball, feels the pressure. He's going to be sacked back inside his 40 at the 39-yard line. Good.
Yeah, they were coming that
yes.
time.
Nelson with the sack.
So that's Nelson having a whale of a game thus far, isn't he?
Oh, I tell you what, when he's hot, the D's hot.
So 3rd and 10 yards to go. Probable passing down here for the Chancellor Chargers, and a flag whistles. And let's see what that's all about. Probably against Chancellor. Might have been movement. Better stop speculating.
Yeah, right.
And I was wrong again.
You know, when you're on the road, you got to expect everything to go against you and then be surprised when it doesn't, right?
Offsides penalty against the Yellow Jackets. It's 3rd and about 5 yards to go. Ball at the Chancellor 44-yard line, operating from the pistol formation. And they keep it on the ground. Did not pick up much. 2-yard gain on that play. Nelson in on the stop for the Yellow Jackets. So big question here for Chancellor.
Right.
They're going to send the punt team in.
Well, I question that. I think Wisdom can get those yards.
Bob, last week in the Caroline game, they punted once in the first quarter, and they went for it on every 4th down play. I don't care if it's 4th and 10 at their 12.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Could not believe it. Chancellor in punt formation here. 4th down and about 4 yards to go. Punter gets off a nice punt, and it dies right at the JM 29-yard line. So James Monroe will have it 1st and 10 yards to go at their 29-yard line.
30-yard line. It'll be.
That was an important stop there for the D.
I could not believe what I saw last week in that Caroline game.
Really?
Yes.
What was it? They didn't have a punter? Or?
No. They punted the first time. They were 3 and out, and they punted. And the punter got off a decent punt. I mean, it wasn't like they didn't have a punter.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't understand the strategy in that at all.
Maybe it's after they got down by a few points and figured, what the heck, let's go for everything, right?
Unless you're looking at the odds in Vegas.
Yeah, the odds in Vegas are against you on that.
1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, and once again, Bob Blackburn, they are unable to pop through that initial line of defense for the Chargers.
Yeah, everything from inside the tackles on over is tough territory.
Tough sledding down inside. 2nd and 9 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Somebody's coming in from the bench, bringing in a play. That's Felton, AJ, Matt going out. Sorry, get confused on the brothers. 2nd and 9 yards to go for James Monroe from the pistol formation. And that's going to be AJ on the carry. Felton does not fool that Chancellor defense. They got to throw the ball.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, both times they scored touchdowns, they threw the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it might end up being.
And I don't like the Yellow Jackets getting into these 3rd down and long situations. You know?
Yeah.
You got to come out and throw some flare passes on 1st down to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards and then make the play selection a little bit easier.
Agreed.
3rd down and 8 yards to go. Yellow Jackets, Felton throwing the ball on the fly, wide open. Over the head, he dropped it. There was nobody within 15 yards of that receiver, and Bowley unable to come up with the catch. He had him.
Wow. What a play. And I thought he threw the ball right on the money.
It was right there. Bowley just flat out dropped that pass. And Bowley is saying, I guarantee you, throw me another one and I'll never drop it.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the next series.
So 4th down, punting down here. Punter standing at his 20-yard line. New punter in there for the Yellow Jackets. There's your snap. Punter gets off a decent punt. He's going to take a JM bounce. He should have let it roll, but he caught it in the air.
Yeah, I think he was thinking that he could advance it, but it doesn't work that way.
So It was taking a JM bounce. He could have got maybe 5-10 more yards out of that roll, but so he downs it at the Chancellor 35-yard line. 8:55 to go in this first half. Glad to have you along tonight on Channel 83. I'm Herman Kay. This guy sitting next to me here in the press box, Dr. Bob Blackbird.
Honored to be back.
Oh, we're glad to have you back.
Well, thank you for having me. I tell you what,
Wisdom, the ball carrier.
Wisdom on the carry, Bob.
But you saved me at home, and I thank you for that. So
yeah. Of course, Bob celebrated his birthday last week. He finally turned 50.
Finally, yeah.
And we wished him a happy birthday on the air, but it wasn't in his presence. So I sung happy birthday to you on the phone.
You certainly did, and it was a beautiful job. Thank you so much.
Bob, it was not me. It was a recording.
No.
Chancellor, it was me, and I'm going to wish you a happy birthday again tonight in front of thousands.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You don't mean on the Chancellor side, though.
Right. Gain of a couple of yards, setting up a third, and 6 yards to go for Chancellor. Yellow Jackets jumping again. What's that all about?
I don't know.
That's Boxley, I think. No, it wasn't Boxley. We don't identify players when they do stuff like that. I'm sorry.
We're not supposed to. That's right.
Me and my mouth.
That's all right. They got a first down on that, right?
Yeah.
Or close to it. Yeah, there it is.
So the Chargers getting a first down there.
Sets up a Chancellor first down. It'll be first and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Yellow Jackets on defense, first and 10 for Chancellor at their 46-yard line from the pistol formation. Quarterback looking to throw the football, rifles the pass in the middle, and the Yellow Jackets in a kind of soft in that secondary as far as coverage. That guy came wide open down in the middle. And a nice reception, big gain down to the James Monroe 35-yard line.
The quarterback got some good time and delivered a good throw.
First and 10 yards to go. They keep it on the ground, and a nice run down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line.
Need to get him a turnover here. Stop this momentum.
Gain of 7.
So you got trips to the far side of the field in this spread offense, pistol formation. Quarterback with a handoff. That's going to be Wisdom on the carry. Close to that first down. I think he's got it.
On the play by Matthew Abel.
Abel in on the stop for the Yellow Jackets. Don't call his name enough, do we?
We don't, but I think he's probably in on a lot of plays.
Yes, he is. So Chancellor putting together a drive here. First and 10 to go at the JM 25-yard line. From the pistol formation, a quarterback, little swing pass in the flat. And a nice tackle, open field tackle. But not until he picked up 3 yards on that reception and run.
Yeah, you have to make a sure tackle on that, because if the guy plants his foot and goes by you, he's got room.
Nobody behind you back there.
Yep.
So a gain of 2 yards on that play. Second and 8 yards to go with 6:20 to go in this first half. From the pistol, a pitch. And nice hole and a hard hit down to the 10-yard line. So Chancellor mixing the ball up on offense, Bob. They getting some nice gains here, and another first down with a first and goal.
Yeah, Jackets going to have to stone up here real quick.
Got to put some pressure. Let's see what they do here. You got 2 receivers to the far side, and they keep it on the ground, and a nice tackle at the line of scrimmage. Maybe 6-inch gain on that play. That's going to set up a second and goal from the JM 9-yard line.
Yeah, even if they can stop them for a field goal, that's good news.
So Chancellor in the red zone again, trying to tie this game up. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Quarterback from the pistol formation, handoff. That's Wisdom. And he was hit just inside the 5-yard line at the 4. So 3rd and goal from the JM 4-yard line.
Need to stiffen up here.
Chancellor is sending in players here. Got number 44 in that backfield along with number 25. They are yet to huddle. Hurry up here. 3rd and goal from the 4. The quarterback rolling with the football. And he gets away, throws the pass. Is it caught? Yes. I don't know whether he was past the line of scrimmage, but it was certainly close. He was nearly sacked on that play, Bob, but at the last second he found a man running on the base of that end zone and connected. 4-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback. And I don't know who that receiver was. I can't see him on roster anyway. Kick is up, and it's good. Timeout on the field with 4:53 to go in this first half. Our score, it's Chancellor 14, James Monroe 14. Back after this timeout. Welcome back to Chancellor High School. Chargers kicking off to the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be a short directional kick.
Ouch!
And a hard hit. Chancellor, do they have the football? That ball went high in the air, a collision.
Yeah, it looked
the ball came up in the air.
Well, they kind of strangled the JM receiver.
Yeah.
There's no way he was going to get it.
So Chancellor coming up with the football. I kind of fought the Yellow Jackets, Bob, because they allowed that ball to hit. Nobody ran underneath it.
Yeah, they must have been practicing that all week.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them kick deep yet.
So the Chargers getting the ball, a turnover here on that kickoff. It's 1st and 10 for Chancellor at the James Monroe 38-yard line. Quarterback from the pistol. Handoff and a run, and he weaves his way down inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. Pick up 4 yards on that run, setting up a 2nd and about 6 yards to go. Strange play in this game. Almost illegal looking, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked mighty strange.
2nd and 6 yards to go. Quarterback from the pistol formation looking to throw the football. Rifles the pass in the middle, intended for number 5. It falls incomplete.
Wow, the guy's got a great arm, doesn't he?
Yeah. Nice big quarterback, too. We're talking about number 18 for the Chancellor Chargers. That's Jason Brown, Jr., 6'1", 200-pounder. So Brown, the quarterback, operating from the pistol formation. Yellow Jackets again coming off sides, and that's going to give them 5 yards. They're trying to anticipate that snap count, Bob.
Yeah.
But a couple of times, and the same player has been guilty of jumping offside for the Yellow Jackets. He's going to go and take a seat.
They'll be penalized 5 yards. That'll give Chancellor a 1st down.
I don't know if it's going to be a 1st down. It should be 3rd down and about a yard to go.
Yeah, that's a little bit less than a yard, but
of a first down. It'll be third down and inches.
So 3rd inches, so to go. Swing pass again. And a nice tackle. Ball comes out. Yellow Jackets fall on it.
How about it?
Should be a first down for the Yellow Jackets. Yes. Nice hard tackle out on a wing, Bob. And he separated that ball from the ball carrier. And an alert JM player fell on it, so the Yellow Jackets get it back. Thus far, it's been a first half of mistakes by both teams.
Exactly.
So the Yellow Jackets get the football. They've got a little meeting going on the far side. And that's with Don Joy, the offensive coordinator for the Yellow Jackets. So here come the Yellow Jackets with a 1st and 10 at their 24-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Yellow Jackets with 3 wideouts, 2 to the near side. And they fumble the football. He picks it up and trying to stretch it out to about the 25-yard line. I don't know what's happening tonight. The Yellow Jackets making more mistakes than we've seen since game 1 down in Dinwiddie.
Yes, it's a high stress night or something. They apparently they have a lot of respect for Chancellor, and I mean they are a good team, but JM has the ability to to score a lot more touchdowns than they have.
Injured JM player, hopefully, Bob, is just cramps, leg cramps. And he's down on his back right around the 25-yard line. Don't know what happened, but...
Do you know who it is that's down?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
And that's Tammy Clark out there. So the Yellow Jackets taking advantage of this injury timeout, meeting with their coordinator over there, Don Joy, about what to do on this series. Drawing a lot of concern from the JM bench, too, Bob. You got assistant coaches out there, so. And is that a doctor on his way out there?
Oh, mercy, I hope it's not serious.
So, injured JM player down. You've got a number of people out there that's working on him. Coach Survey is coming out. And, you know, one thing I heard about this Chancellor team coming into tonight's game, Bob, they're very physical.
Yeah, I've seen some good hits, I tell you.
Real physical football team. And we've seen a number of hard hits out there tonight. And that JM player's still down. And certainly hope they're not calling a rescue squad. Coach Survey. Number of people out there around that injured JM player, and we're yet to find out who that player is.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a number there, and there are too many people around him.
And it happened down in the trenches. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in this first half at Chancellor High School. 14-14 tie. We've seen a pretty good football game in the first half thus far.
Yeah, they haven't disappointed either side yet.
Yeah. And we can see more folks headed in the direction of that injured James Monroe player. Certainly hope it's nothing serious.
Yeah, I don't recall anything this whole season, the beginning of the season on, where JM had a player down this long.
No. Matter of fact, over the many years of broadcasting football, Bob, and you can attest to what I'm about to say, because of conditioning with players today, you have far less injuries, I would think, than you had years ago.
Exactly.
You know, when the last time you heard of a player getting a leg broke during a football game?
I haven't seen it since I was in high school.
Yeah. But we are certainly not wishing anything like that on that player that's down. But there's a lot of attention being paid to that injured James Monroe High School player. So Chancellor scored first in this football game. Yellow Jackets went ahead 14-7.
They're going to take him off, I'm almost sure now.
Chancellor came back and tied it up 14-14. That's where we are right now. We got a young lady that's running.
Here comes the squad.
Yeah. That's not good. And hopefully it's all just precautionary. But we're getting a rescue squad to getting ready to come onto the field here and get that injured JM player. Hasn't moved out there, Bob. Haven't seen a sign from the player himself.
No,
I pray that it's not a serious injury.
Yeah, it's
hopefully we can get a sign from that player that he's doing okay.
He's sitting up now.
He is sitting up.
Cart.
And it looks like a leg, Bob. You can hear the applause from the home crowd here. And they are moving him.
I cannot get a number on that, can you?
No.
25?
$25 for the Yellow Jackets. Is that Vincent Smith Jr.?
He plays D too, or?
He's a senior. He's being taken off on a golf cart there. And it seems to be a leg injury or a knee injury.
Yeah, they're
I want to think ACL or something, Bob.
Wow.
Now that's the most, when you talk about injuries now because of the condition of these athletes, it's the ACL, MCL, those type of injuries to the knees that are more prevalent today than they've ever been.
It'll be second down and 9 for the Yellow Jackets.
So that injured JM player, Vincent Smith Jr., I think that's the player.
If it's 25, yeah, that's who it is.
So we certainly hope he's okay. Here we go, second and 9 yards to go for James Monroe. Yellow Jackets keep it on the ground. And it's a loss of a yard on that play. Now we got to be concerned with play selection here by the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, don't want to turn around and
for the third time, third possession, they've been faced with a third down and long. I don't like that.
Well, go for broke and then punt, right?
Yep. 24-yard line for James Monroe. It's third and 10 yards to go. You got 4 wideouts for James Monroe, 2 to the left and right. Felton looking, throws a pass intended for his brother. Over the head catch, not there.
That would have been one heck of a reception, but wasn't to be.
Let's see who that pass was intended for.
Fourth down for the Yellow Jackets.
That's going to bring up a 4th down. That was Jalen Price, the intended receiver on that play. Ladies and gentlemen, you would applaud our effort tonight. We got our cell phones out, using the light from our cell phones to try to pick up numbers on the roster. 4th down, punting down here for the Yellow Jackets. Punter standing at his 10-yard line. He awaits a good snap from the center here. It's a low snap, but a nice grab and a relatively short kick. And it's going to take a lateral bounce, and the Yellow Jackets will down it into Chancellor territory at the 49-yard line. So James Monroe probably shell-shocked a little bit here now, Bob, with an injury and a hard hit earlier. rattled them a little bit. So it's going to take a minute or two for them to get their heads back into this football game, particularly when you have one of your teammates caught it off.
Yeah, that's always a downer.
So the Yellow Jackets, let's see how spirited they are here on defense with a 1st and 10 for the Chargers at their 49-yard line. Quarterback operating from the pistol formation. Handoff, run up the middle into the JM secondary. That's Wisdom on a carry, getting the ball down to the James Monroe 35-yard line. 15-yard gainer that time by Wisdom.
He's not a huge back, but I tell you what, he does get plus yardage.
So they move the chain on the far side, 1st and 10 for Chancellor. Hurry up offense from the pistol. Again, Wisdom is going to be hit in the backfield, a loss of yards on that play.
That's very rare, isn't it?
Yes.
See Wisdom go down the backfield.
Yellow Jackets aggressively getting into the backfield and tackling Wisdom on that play. Now Chancellor taking a timeout. Chargers taking a timeout here with 2:25 to go in this first half. And we're all tied at 14. Injured JM player being taken off the field earlier. Loss of 2 yards, Bob.
Are you sure that wasn't number 20 that went down? I see him as a running back, but then again, I don't have the sight you have.
The 50-50 raffle guy will also have raffle tickets for $5.
Shelby, who's the injured player? 12?
Marching band, 25. iPad,
25.
$5.
Smith.
Buy one at the
Yeah.
stand or from the
That was Smith, the injured player.
salesman.
So loss of 2 yards on that play. Chancellor taking a timeout. Now we're ready to play here. 2nd and 12 yards to go for the Chargers at the JM 37-yard line. And that's going to be number 18, the quarterback on the keeper, has the first down. Down inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line.
Nice fake, I tell you what.
Yeah,
the JM players, yeah. JM players were fooled. Wow.
That's Brown on the carry. Jason Brown with a first down and 10 yards to go from the pistol formation. Ball into James Monroe, 23. And that's going to be Brown again running the football. And he's going to be hit at the 10-yard line. And another injured JM player down. He's slow getting up. That's D.D. Nelson in on a stop for the Yellow Jackets.
First and goal for the Chargers.
So the Yellow Jackets defense a little bit suspect here now with 1:56 to go. First and goal to go for the Chargers at the James Monroe 10-yard line. Quarterback Brown fakes a handoff, throws a pass, and it's dropped in the end zone.
Pretty well designed play, I tell you.
Nice fake too by the quarterback.
Yeah, he's done a great job of faking. And then that run he made after that had everybody fooled.
One of the better quarterbacks that we've seen this year.
Yeah, he's something.
Nice size, big kid. 2nd and goal from the JM 10-yard line. Yellow Jackets showing blitz, and that's going to be Wisdom. Wisdom following his blockers into the end zone. Touchdown. 10-yard touchdown run by Wisdom. That's Mario Wisdom with the 10-yard touchdown run, putting his Chargers back on top, 20-14. Yellow Jackets seem to be shell-shocked here now for some reason. Not the same enthusiasm that they had to open up this football game. Extra point attempt here by the Chancellor Chargers. The snap to hold, the kick, it's up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 1:39 to go in this first half of football here at Chancellor High School. Our score, Chargers 21, Yellow Jackets 14. We'll be back after this.
The point attempt is good. The score, Chancellor 21, James Monroe 14.
to Chancellor High School. Bob, different JM team right now.
Yeah, they. I hope they don't just kind of slide into halftime, but it looks like they might have to.
So they're down by 7, 21-14, a minute 39 to go. For some reason, all of the life has come out of this JM team out there on the field, offensively and defensively. I don't know whether it's that injury or what it is. Once again, that kick is going to be a fair catch. Not only did he fair catch it, that's Boxley, but he wanted to run with it after he caught it. You can't do that.
That's right. You can't change your mind, can you?
Nope. So, Yellow Jackets will have it with a minute 38 to go, down by 7, 21-14. So, first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their 38-yard line. Felton, the quarterback, 4 wide out. Felton looking downfield, open man in the flat, turns it upfield. Has the first down right at midfield, so the Yellow Jackets picking up 12 on that pass reception on the far side. Minute 31, they'll start the clock as soon as they set the chain on the far side. Yellow Jackets going with a hurry-up, no huddle here. Quarterback, Felton. You got Matt Felton to the near side, and got a flag. What's that all about?
Either delay a game or somebody lined up off sides. I'm not sure.
So that's going to stop the clock.
Flag on the play. Excuse me, no timeout. No flag on the play. Timeout.
Chancellor taking a timeout here. No flag on the play. So it's first and 10 when we resume play here. What's the clock running for? So we're getting. I just curled my hair. that loud sound. So no penalty on the play. It's a timeout charge to Chancellor. First and 10 for the Yellow Jackets with the 6 seconds to go.
Bad cord.
Got a bad cord there. As the technicians scramble around us here, Bob, trying to correct the problem. So first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. You got 4 wideouts, 2 to the right, 2 to the near. And that's Felton operating from the pistol formation. Alongside him, that's Weldon. Here we go. Pass in the flat, turns it upfield, steps out of bounds.
Out of bounds, good job.
And close to that first down marker, about 2 yards shy. And that's Boley with the reception. Minute 11 to go in this first half. The Yellow Jackets trying to put some points on the board. Second and 2 for the Yellow Jackets at the Chancellor 42-yard line. Again, 4 wideouts. Setback. Felton looking, rifles the pass again with the reception. Got to get out of bounds. He stays inbounds, but he got enough for the first down. That's Price with the reception for James Monroe.
Fourth down, James Monroe. First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Minute 3 to go in this first half. And the Yellow Jackets, again, the same type of pattern. That's Boley with the reception. And never did go down.
I think he was trying to take that man with him out of bounds.
He did. And he stopped the clock.
Yeah,
now the Yellow, I don't know why they took a timeout here. They got out of bounds and stopped the clock. So it's 47 seconds to go. Kind of a wasted time out there, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, something to develop the way they wanted it to, and they figured it'd be better to call timeout. Maybe they are going to call like 3 or 4 plays or something.
I can hear stuff here. Can you? Is that us?
Are you?
Must was that pizza.
Also, at halftime, make sure to visit the concession stand while you're there. Buy a raffle ticket or a mini iPad.
We'll let the techie guys take care of it.
Okay.
So, second and about 6 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 47 seconds to go until halftime. Yellow Jackets 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Felton looking in that direction. Rifles a pass, and it's a catch. Right around the time is running. 40 seconds to go. They'll start that clock, Bob, when they set the chains on the far side. First and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. Now we're getting a timeout by the Yellow Jackets. Chancellor taking a timeout.
Timeout, Chancellor.
So 37 seconds to go. Bob, plenty of time here.
Yeah, I would think 2 plays. One of them has to be sidelined though.
Yeah. What a great drive here by a 10th grader.
Yeah, and I'm just real happy to see JM's, hadn't lost their spark.
Yeah.
It looks like they're.
I mean, it takes college and professional athletes. Some can do it, some can't. But it's like a 2-minute drill here. Yellow Jackets got the football back with a little bit over a minute to go.
Right.
And they moved the ball deep into Chancellor territory, down inside the red zone. So we're going to see if the Yellow Jackets have enough time here to put a touchdown on the board.
Can't do a draw play. It would be a mighty nice place to do it. But
Visit the concession stand at halftime.
You're going to have to throw the ball either into the end zone or throw it to the sideline.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that clock to run. And I think the Yellow Jackets might have one more timeout. Trips to the far side of the field from the pistol formation. The quarterback gets the snap, feels the pressure, turns it up. He's going to run it, and he's going to be pulled down from behind right around the 10-yard line. Going to be short of picking up the first down.
He's got to call a timeout.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. The Yellow Jackets taking a timeout here with 28 seconds to go. What a 2-minute drill here by the Yellow Jackets. They're talking about Felton, the quarterback, leading his team down.
Yeah, I thought he had a lot more room than he did. Chancellor did a nice job to nail him out there.
He's given his team a chance here.
Sir, need a water?
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Sir, okay? You got it?
I'll take a light instead.
One more hot dog and hamburger. Do we have an order?
That's the refreshment guy, huh?
Making sure everybody's in good shape, huh?
Taking care of everybody. We told them we didn't want a soda or a hot dog, but we could take a fluorescent light above us.
Yeah, right. Just the tube would do it.
Yeah. So second. And about 3 yards to go for the first down. Felton looking, rifles a pass in the corner of the end zone.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Fade pattern, Bob.
What a play.
Used to see Jerry Smith from Sonny Jurgensen run that play all day long.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Number 87,
Yeah.
number 9 and number 87.
Perfectly thrown pass from the quarterback Felton. Don't know who the receiver was on that play.
Bowley. Yeah.
Bowley with his
That's
second
it,
touchdown.
catch, yeah. How many yards was that?
9-yard touchdown pass. Yellow Jackets in with the extra point here. Try to tie this thing up. That's Marine. The snap to hold. The kick by Marine. It is up, and it is good. What a drive by the Yellow Jackets. No give up in this team, Bob.
That's just what the doctor ordered, wasn't it?
We'll keep it right here with 22 seconds to go. We're deadlocked at 21 here at Chancellor High School. Pretty good ball game. Evenly matched teams. Chancellor certainly not a slouch. Yellow Jackets just clawing their way back in here. Chancellor, Yellow Jackets were up at one point 14-7, but Chancellor came back and tied it up and then went ahead 21-14. But the Yellow Jackets with just a little bit over a minute left in this first half, they marched the ball down the field and from 9 yards out put up a touchdown, and right now we're tied at 21.
Felton's throwing well tonight.
Yep. Bowley coming up big tonight. Nice to have a stable of receivers like the Yellow Jackets have. Any one of those receivers can have a big night.
Exactly.
So the Yellow Jackets set to kick off to the Chancellor Chargers. That's Marine teeing it up. Certainly glad to have you along tonight on Channel 83. I know we have experienced a few difficulties, but we'll get them fixed. And Chancellor with a short kick, and they fall on it. So 1st and 10 for the Chargers at their 36-yard line. What do you think they're going to do, Bob?
I was just going to say, do you think they're going to be adventurous?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think, who's the coach over there? Bob Oliver?
Bob Oliver.
Hey, Bob, been around a long time. I think he's one of the original people here at Chancellor High School when it first opened up.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's a
long
that's
time.
A long time, yeah.
1st and 10 to go, and they're not going to sit on it. Quarterback looking downfield, and he runs away. He's scrambling, and that's going to be a grounded call.
Yeah, gotta be
not a good play. He threw that ball in an area where there was no receiver, so intentional grounding. And that's going to be a penalty and loss of downs.
Well, they got time for
14 seconds to go.
Flag on the play, intentional grounding on the Chargers.
Well, he answered the Bob Oliver question. Are you going to sit on it or are you going to throw it? Feel
right.
lucky, punk?
So 2nd down and 20 yards to go for Chancellor, and they're going to take a knee here. Well, they should run around with it a little bit.
I would think, yeah.
Still got 11 seconds to go. But the Yellow Jackets have no timeouts, so that's going to do it. 4 seconds to go. And that's going to end the first half of play in a well-played first half here at Chancellor High School. Our score is Chancellor 21, James Monroe 21. We'll be back with Bob Blackburn and all the highlights of tonight's football game right after this timeout.
Tomorrow the band will travel to James Madison University to compete against 16 other bands in their class. We wish them the best of luck. Drum Major Madison Libby, please salute when your band is ready and begin your show.
Even when everything seems against you, remember you must take off against them. Eventually, you must forget all the reasons your idea won't work and believe the one reason that it will.
What?
Welcome back to Chancellor High School. Boy, was I getting pretty excited there. I wanted the guy to check my raffle tickets for me.
Oh, my goodness.
I bought 3. Jim bought 25.
Oh, for crying
25
out loud.
tickets, yeah. So I just hope I beat him out.
That's right. Wow.
Welcome back to Chancellor Halftime. Chancellor High School Marching Band just finished a pretty good performance down on the field. And right now we're going to turn it over to Dr. Blackburn for highlights of the first half of tonight's ball game.
Yeah, I got my pen light ready. I'm ready to go here. Okay, Chancellor scored first at 9:35 in the first quarter with Noah Manuel. Well, on a 2-yard TD pass, point after good, 7-0. Chancellor takes the lead. James Monroe came back at 5:10 on the 6-yard TD pass from A.J. Felton to Matt Felton. And the point after there was good. They tied the score at 7-all. And then JM scored once more in the first quarter at 3:48 with a 25-yard TD pass from Felton to Bowley. Point after was good there. JM took the first quarter lead at 14-7. Chancellor came back with 2 unanswered touchdowns at 4:53 with a 5-yard TD pass. They scored, and the point after was good, and they tied the score at 14-all. Chancellor once again at 1:39 on a 10-yard TD run by Wisdom. Point after was good there, and Chancellor took the 21-14 lead. JM comes back with 22.4 seconds left in the quarter, or in the half, shall we say, with a 9-yard TD pass from Felton to Bowley once again. And point after was good, and JM tied the score at 21-all on that touchdown.
What an exciting half of football, Bob.
Wow.
Saw it all out there, including a sad note for the Yellow Jacket fans and players. Injured JM player for the Yellow Jackets was carted off the field. We certainly hope that he's doing okay, and as soon as we get a report, if we get a report, we'll pass it along to our listeners. This week's area games, it's Riverbend hosting Freedom, Colonial Forge at Hilton, Mountain View being entertained by Brook Point tonight, Potomac at Manassas Park, Stafford hosting North Stafford, King George at Caroline, Cortland at Spotsylvania, and the Yellow Jackets on the road here at Chancellor to take on the Chancellor Chargers. Next week's schedule, we'll be at home next week, Bob. It's homecoming.
Get Spotsy, right?
Yep. Spotsylvania coming to town to take on the Yellow Jackets. And I think that kickoff is 7:30 next Friday night, and not a 7 o'clock start, but we'll check to make sure it's a 7:30 kickoff next Friday night. Other games next Friday night is Riverbend at Garfield and Colonial Forge at Woodbridge, Stafford at Brook Point, Mountain View at Massaponax, North Stafford at Potomac, Cortland at King George, Eastern View hosting Liberty, and Chancellor on the road at Caroline to take on the Cavaliers. But we're back at home next Friday night, homecoming, as the Spotsylvania Knights make their way to Morris Stadium to take on the Yellow Jackets. But the story tonight here at Chancellor High School, the Yellow Jackets, what a 2-minute drill by the quarterback Felton, Bob.
Yeah, it's right when they needed to have their spirits lifted too. They looked like they were dragging a bit. You had mentioned, and I kind of agreed with you. They were upset, I think, over the injury to the JM football player, and they certainly did show a lot of gumption coming right back down the field. And tonight, JM, this is the first time I can remember they've scored all 3 touchdowns by way of the pass.
Yeah, no rushing touchdowns tonight. And you got to credit that Chancellor defense, Bob, for not allowing the Yellow Jackets to mount any type of sustained drive on the ground, rushing the football against them. They've been very tough, very stiff down inside, not allowing Weldon to have his way against their defense tonight. So Yellow Jackets adjust, and they're throwing the ball. Now, I think they need to throw the ball more, because on that drive, that 2-minute drive that the Yellow Jackets had to end that first half, receivers were wide open, and they were able to come up with the catches And not only that, to get out of bounds, that these receivers are the type of receivers, Bob, that you want one-on-one, where they can make that initial defender miss and make those plays, those short gains, into big plays. And the Yellow Jacket receivers are certainly capable of that.
Yeah, I'd tell you what, the Chancellor defense is strong in the middle. And so JM's versatile enough to be able to throw the ball, and it looks like the receivers have been wide open there. They even had a couple that were dropped that that should have been caught. So,
but what a tremendous effort by the 10th grader to take his team that were down by 7 points and a little over a minute or so to go in this first half, and he took his team at least, I think that drive was at least 60, 70 yards.
I think I agree with you. It was at least somewhere down in here where they.
And he just calmly directed that offense, completed the passes. Receivers were smart enough to get out of bounds, and the Yellow Jackets were able to advance the ball and finally score to even up this football game. So both teams back on the sidelines now. Yellow Jackets coming out first. Now the Chargers are coming back out. I would have to say the Chargers should feel a little bit better than the Yellow Jackets right now. The Yellow Jackets, Bob, I think are a little bit disappointed at their performance.
I think they are too. They're a high-powered offense, and the D has played so well lately, and I think they're surprised that they can be pushed back a little bit.
But you got a tremendous running back, this Wisdom kid.
Isn't he something?
Well, he's got a lot of wisdom.
Got a lot of wisdom. We saw a lot of wisdom.
That's
too,
right.
Well, and the bad thing, Chancellor gets the opening kickoff. And
key
James
series.
going to have the key series right away,
For the Yellow Jackets coming out defensively to not allow Chancellor to move the ball down the field. Yellow Jackets, if they change their tactics here in the second half and throw the ball a little bit more to kind of open this thing up, then it will, consistently throw the football, and I mean short, intermediate passes. It will certainly open up that running game, and the Yellow Jackets could gain control of this football game and walk away with a win tonight.
Yeah, let's see how that opening drive goes. I think if the Jackets stop them on that opening drive, turn around and push it down, feel on them again, it may change the momentum.
It's football weather tonight. Chill in the air.
Yeah.
And it feels good here at Chancellor High School. Halftime, 21-21 tie. Bob and I will be back after this. Set for second half football here on Channel 83. Glad to have you along tonight on Channel 83. That's Regional Web TV as well as the cable channel 83. If you actually go to Regional Web TV right now,
you could actually see this?
You can see the game.
My goodness.
There's a little bit of a delay, but you can see the game live on Regional Web TV.
Technology is amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. Certainly if it was left up to us, well, at least me, Bob, we could never get this. I mean, it's like me getting an 8-track stuck in the machine. I have no idea what these guys are doing, but Jim and Chuck are the masterminds behind some of these things, and we don't want to overrate them here, and the signal's not good. But,
get somebody to call you and tell you. They do that, and plus almost got a fluorescent bulb for us so we can see.
Yeah, that's the other story here tonight. We're in the press box here at Chancellor High School. Matter of fact, wonderful athletic director out here at Chancellor High School who treated us very nice. But he put us in an area in the press box that we have no light. So thus we can't read our notes.
At least we have plenty of room, though, don't we?
Yeah, we got plenty of room. And, they made us at home, but we're in the dark. So the Yellow Jackets set to kick off here to the Chancellor Chargers. There's your kick. It's a high kick. Yellow Jackets flag coming out. Is that a flag on the play? There's another flag coming out.
What's that all about?
I have no clue, Bob.
Michael Bush on the kickoff return.
Like 2 flags on the play.
Pushed out of bounds.
That-
It'll be 1st and 10 Chancellor.
So Chancellor,
We do have a
flag was
flag
thrown
on the
deep in
play.
Chancellor territory. And the referees are discussing something out there.
Could they have had too many men on the field?
Could have. Let's see. They pick it up. You're going to wave the flag off.
Yeah, apparently so. They left the ball where
Yeah.
it was.
So they're going to wave that
It'll be 1st and 10 Chancellor. They'll
that
start
flag
at the
off
37-yard line.
as I got to zip this coat up around the neck.
Yeah, if it gets much colder than this, it's going to be time to whip the gloves out.
All we got to do is think Lynchburg, right?
Oh, yeah, my goodness.
1st and 10 for the Chargers. Pass across the middle is going to be incomplete. Ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, so it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 yards to
We'll
go.
bring up 2nd down.
Haven't seen the Yellow Jackets blitz a lot either, Bob.
No, remember they got to him once, and
Yes.
I think they're kind of laying back a little bit now.
2nd and 10 facing the Chargers. And handoff, that's number 2 on the carry, Wisdom.
Mario Wisdom, the ball carrier.
It gets the ball out to about the 39-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the Chargers. Chargers going with a hurry-up, no-huddle offense here. Plays coming in from the sideline. A little meeting in the backfield there with the quarterback, Brown. From the pistol formation. Receivers 2, trips to the far side of the field, and a pass and a catch in the middle and into JM territory down to the 49-yard line. That pass was on a rope.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, he can throw on a rope.
So 1st down for the Chancellor Chargers at the James Monroe 49-yard line. 11-10 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Just getting underway. Chargers, 2 receivers to the near side. That's Wisdom on the carry. And Wisdom explodes through the hole on the right side of the field. Picks up about 5-6 yards on that run. You know, I was talking about the Yellow Jackets, Bob, in the first half where they were in a lot of 3rd and long situations. Chancellor here with a short 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Quarterback from the pistol. Rolling to his right, and a pitch, and the Yellow Jackets defended well.
I've never seen that before. It was just a little toss.
Yep.
Would they have considered that a forward pass?
No, the ball carrier was trailing him.
Okay.
And so thus it was a lateral opposed to a forward pass. 3rd and 2 yards to go. Yellow Jacket almost coming offside. Trying to anticipate the snap count here. Quarterback operating from the pistol formation. You got 3 receivers, and quarterback with the football, dancing his way around the left side, down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line.
You got that one.
You know, the Yellow Jackets' problem here tonight defensively, they allow too many yards on 1st down.
Yeah, that was rough. In fact, that 3rd down conversion was unusual.
Yeah.
And they usually are
stiffen up.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for Chancellor at the James Monroe 35-yard line. 2 receivers to the right side of the field, 1 to the left. Quarterback from the pistol. Gets the snap. He missed the handoff. Now he's going to roll and throw the football, and it's going to be dropped. He had a receiver that was open, that might have been a part of the fake, Bob, with him, you know, faking the ball like he missed the handoff and rolled out and rifled a pass, but the receiver just flat out dropped it.
Yeah, he put some zip on that thing too.
So let's see how it turns out differently here with a second down and long.
Second down and 10.
They didn't gain anything on that first down, so the defense can kind of dictate to the offense what they're going to do. Second and 10, quarterback pitch, run around the left side, and a nice gain. Might have picked up 7 yards on that run. Now, Chancellor Bob faced with a third and about 3-4 yards to go.
Yeah. I think they'll go to Wisdom every time they fake to Wisdom and give it to another back. It just creates problems for JM.
Yeah. 3 receivers, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback looking, swing pass, and a catch. Somebody's going to have to come up and cover that receiver. They've used that play a number of times tonight where they will swing a guy around into the flat. He's generally wide open, and Chancellor putting together a pretty good drive to open up this second half of football. First and 10 yards to go for the Chargers. And that's Wisdom up the middle into the secondary, and he's going to be hit
On the carry.
at the 1-yard line.
A great tackle down there by JM, because I thought he was gone.
Can't understand that. And you know what they're doing, Bob? They are throwing the ball in the flat, getting the Yellow Jackets think and shifting their defense. But what they're doing is setting up Wisdom to run the ball right up the middle. First and goal for Chancellor at the James Monroe 1-yard line. And that's going to be number 18 on the carry. Did he get in? Yes. Brown with a 2-yard touchdown run, and Chancellor regaining the lead here, 27-21. Yellow Jackets not sharp tonight on defense at all. Extra point attempt here for the Chancellor Chargers. The kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 7:59 to go in this third quarter. The score, it's Chancellor 28, James Monroe 21. We'll be back after this. We'll be touching the ball for the first time in this second half. So the Chargers, Bob, had the ball a long time in this to open up this third quarter.
Yeah, and this is a crucial drive here for the Jackets just to answer up. And
can't fall behind too much here. You know, 1 score down is not bad, but you don't want Chancellor to get the momentum in this second half and blow you out of here. And that could easily happen if the Yellow Jackets don't put their heart into this football game. Chargers set to kick off to the Yellow Jackets. Going to probably be another short high kick. And they kick it to a vacated area. It goes out of bounds, flag coming out. So the Yellow Jackets will have it, what, at the 30-yard line?
Yeah, they don't they get an option to re-kick or not?
Well, I saw the players automatically going out on the field, so I don't think you have an option.
Okay, gotcha.
I think they will put it at the 35. Yep.
35-yard line, yep.
So first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their 35-yard line. Come on, let's open this thing up.
Yeah, let's see some of the runs go here.
So first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. 2 receivers make it 4 wideouts for the Yellow Jackets. Nice pass in a vacated area. Nice catch. Turns it upfield and steps out of bounds right around midfield at the JM 49-yard line. Price on the reception for James Monroe, picking up 13 yards on that catch and run.
It's funny, he got a little stiff arm out there. And if he wasn't out of bounds, I thought he would have gone up the sideline.
I thought the same thing, Bob. So first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their own 49-yard line. Felton, the quarterback, gets a snap, looking right for the pass in the middle with the catch. Bounces to the outside, streaking up the sideline. He almost broke the last tackler. My goodness, you see that speed?
that was amazing. It's like somebody shot him out of a gun down there.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Going to be holding James Monroe. Here we go with these phantom calls here now by the referees. They've been doing a great job up until now. That hole came well away from where all the action was. The Yellow Jackets coming up with a big play, and that's going to push the ball back to the James Monroe 49-yard line. First down again for James Monroe. Let's try it again with better success this time. Huh? Trips to the near side of the field, operating from the pistol formation. Quarterback, Felton, looking downfield, and he stops and cuts it back upfield. And with strength alone, Bob, that should have been a sack, but he managed to pick up some yards on that play.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's for his size,
yeah.
he commands some respect on the ground.
Nice game by Felton. The wall came tumbling down, but he managed to get a couple of yards on that scramble as he advanced the ball down to the Chancellor 47-yard line. 2nd and 5 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. 6:35 to go here in the third quarter. Yellow Jackets swing pass in the flat with the catch. And little juke move, but unable to break that initial tackler. That's what you got to do, Bob. You know, you isolate these receivers and get them to shake that initial tackler, and if they do, they can pick up good yards.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen James Monroe throw so repeatedly, but they're doing a nice job of it.
Everyone, please get out your tickets.
Sometimes you have to abandon the running game when it's not working.
Exactly.
3rd and 4 yards to go from the pistol. Felton, another pass and a nice spin move, and he falls forward. It's going to be enough for a JM first down. That was Matt Price, I'm sorry. Jalen Price. They're going to they're going to signal that it is a first down. He knew where he had to go, Bob. You see that little extra spin?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, if he hadn't caught his leg, he might have gotten loose from that.
Yeah.
And gone.
So the Yellow Jackets putting together a drive here. 1st and 10 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. A pass again, that's Boley with the reception. Now the Yellow Jackets are beginning to pick up good yards on first down.
Yeah, I cannot believe I haven't seen James Monroe throw every down in a long time. But apparently at halftime they said, listen, if it's working, it's working.
Yeah, this is what we've got to do. And you can bet with them throwing the football like from side to side in the flat in those vacated areas, when they do decide to run the football, something's going to be there in the middle.
You're right.
2nd and 5 to go for James Monroe. And the Yellow Jackets, again, the fly pattern, and it's going to be a jump ball and a catch by James. What a miraculous catch. My goodness. Down inside the 5-yard line.
He had to claw that one.
Yes, he did. Boy, that's Price coming up with a fingernail catch. Took it away from the defender. 1st and goal for the Yellow Jackets at the Chancellor 4-yard line.
Jackets knocking on the door again. Wow, wasn't that something?
Yes.
Wow.
Boy, he was covered like a blanket.
He was.
And he went right up and took that ball away from the defender. And the Yellow Jacket with a 1st and goal here from the Chancellor 4-yard line. Yellow Jacket full house backfield. And a running back cuts it back inside. Did he get in? Yes.
Was that Weldon?
Weldon on the carry. 4-yard touchdown run by Weldon. That's the run we were talking about.
Yeah, that's the one that opened up as a result of all those passes, right?
So the Yellow Jackets pull to within 1, 28-27. And the Yellow Jackets trying to tie it up here. Marine for the extra point. The snap to hold, the kick by Marine. Line drive kick is up. It's good. Timeout on the field with 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. Our score, it's Chancellor 28, James Monroe 28. Back after this.